Welcome back, everyone. It's time for Monster of the Week 7. Seventh Monster of the Week event. We got them rolling. If you're interested in playing in weekly Phobies tournaments or prizes provided by his dev team, then hit up the Randoms Thoughts Discord. Link for that will, of course, be in the description alongside the like and subscribe button. Getting things out of the way at the start. One of the others is, of course, I am part of the content affiliate program, so the Phobies team does, in fact, give me coffee, similar to the prizes that they're giving out for Monster of the Week, for producing Phobies content. But enough of that stuff. We got some exciting games and maybe some embarrassing games? Question mark? Coming right at you. Let's get to it. All right, here we are in round 1 of Monster of the Week 7. Gabara, Potenzia 2. I pointed the wrong way for each of them. Whatever. We're just getting into this game. This game, there's allegedly some drama about this game. What is the drama? Let's just have to wait and see. No spoilers. No spoilers. All right, so we're getting in here. We're on Pluto, which is an off-maligned map. We're actually getting a Sucky opener from our blue player. I don't hate it. I know Sucky was for a very long time in everybody's trash tier list, but it does have fringe use, fringe play on certain maps. We're talking, well, Pluto, we're talking Red Rum, we're talking a couple others. It's not bad. Your favorite little worm, says chat. I mean, there aren't too many options in this game, unless you count Honey Bear. Temptress, maybe, kind of. If you're one of those people that think snakes are worms. I don't know. But either way, we're getting a fairly tanky start. We get Tickles, we get Sucky, which are great walls for Innocuous. Now, our orange player, on the other hand, decided to lead off with Bowmangles. Honey Bear is not a worm. Well, it's not, but, I mean, what other worms are there? All right, so we get the triple panic point advantage, an early lead gained by our blue player, following up with Boom, which is very dangerous. You can, of course, scoot it on over to this stim, and then it's fireworks time, baby. Numbskull coming in as the tanky one-drop from our orange player. Gonna break this obstacle. This is kind of cute. Setting up for later plays obviously gives you greater positioning, but it also opens up more sight lines for this Innocuous. A little pew-pew action, dropping the lasers. Gotta do what you gotta do. The worms in your intestines are telling you to be silly. May want to see a doctor about that. That sounds problematic. I don't like Pluto. Did I got too much stim pad in map? What? That's a sentence. No, it's not. No, it's not. We get a little Fire Ant action. As I've said before, the most under-the-radar overpowered phobia. People just don't seem to respect it. Of course, this is going to happen. Normally, you don't want to put traps on, like, the obvious places, but let's be real. Here, it's just, okay. They're going to go on the stem at some point. Now, the thing is, with the close confines of this map, this is going to be interesting because when this ignites, it's entirely possible that it's going to end up catching a lot of Potenzia's forces, aka now, which I think that our orange player possibly anticipated and said, hey, this is what I want to have happen. Maybe not. They are kind of cooking themselves here on top of getting cooked. We get a little repeller action. Double 3 Rangers here. That's a few different phobies going down, but, wait, could this not have died? That's 7... 20... Alright, so that's 720 plus 350. Wow, rough. Tough life out there. Fire Ant tanking it all. Or would have tanked it all. 10 keys remaining for our orange player. That's a Doom Doom. Okay. Chat. We're in for some Doom shenanigans. Got Fire Ant last week. I think one of it is good level. I'm going to be spamming every game. Fire Ant, I mean, I just said it. Fire Ant is one of the most busted phobies in the game, and people just don't seem to recognize it. It's not as overtly powerful as the ones that people always complain about, but it is really strong. So we are getting the trap placement. We're getting a sheeping gas. You all know my feeling on sheeping gas by now. Orange player pops out a ray, obviously already happened, in order to try and combat the quadrupods, as I like to call them. I'm probably the only person who calls them that because it's a very stupid name. There's really no reason to call them that. But I do, in fact, call them that. So, the worms on Numbskull do technically apply on the best worms and phobies list. Do they, though? Do they, though? All right, so we're getting a little boop here. The boop, I mean, it prevents some damage, inbound damage, but it obviously saves the fire on Bo. Keeps Bo from getting cooked. I don't love this sheep positioning. The sheep is just dead, isn't it? Oh, no, not like this. Not like this, and just like that, that's got to be the ball game, folks. It's got to be the ball game, and that looked like one of my plays, I'm not going to lie. No boop available, was just used. Down goes Bo. Jinsting going to go down. Is occupying the stim, but a 3-to-1 panic point advantage. Cooking the repeller, 2-to-1 phobia advantage. And now, appropriately, our orange player just says, I'm going to split. Can't catch me everywhere. That clock just keeps ticking. Doom Doom absorbing the stim. This is what we in the business would refer to as checkmate. Yeah, you're not going to heart rush here. Tenzia, one of our reigning Monster of the Week champions. One of the reigning Monster of the Week champions. Going down in round 1. Well played by our orange player. Very tightly controlled game. Well done. Doom Doom in the W column. GG. Welcome back. It's round 2. And we actually have 2 new participants to Monster of the Week. As mentioned at the top, if you're interested in playing, hit up the Randoms Thoughts Discord. There are prizes on the line. Shout out to the devs for that. So we got Steve. I love it. Technically, it's Steve081, the 81st Steve. I love it when it's just someone's name. It makes me laugh every time. Versus Fenrir. It's good boy time. We're here on Phobos because someone is a mad person. I don't know which person it was, but one of you is straight up out your gourd, as one might put it. One might say that you are off your rocker. You were a few sandwiches short of a picnic. But we are getting somewhat classic openers here. A little odd from our orange player because they chose not to go with, snowball to the middle or something like that. But we did get the break here into the snowball from our player 2. It's interesting because for a very long time after Phobos came out, myself included, many people felt that this was an extremely player 1 favored map. But we ended up finding out through the course of various Fright Nights and other events and just playing in general that it kind of swung the other way. Like, player 2 seems to win this map much more frequently. So we'll see how this one plays out. Somebody in chat just unlocked Creep. They mentioned it earlier tonight. Speaking of the creepy boy, there he is. Speaking of cooked cassowary, there it is. I don't know. Do you think cassowary tastes like chicken? Is cassowary endangered? Are you even allowed to eat it? I don't know. Rambolita, woo! All right, chat. And a Finnegan, we're all in on the boops. Let's get it. Let's go, chat. I think I need to wet the whistle here to get ready for this one. Little pukage here on the Gravedigger is pointed out to whoever just unlocked Creep. That will be a dead Gravedigger, barring some intervention. Looks like my next stream is a cooking one. No, you don't want me to cook. I can cook. I'm not like a good cook. Not a good cook. Obviously, Creep is going to eat it. The question is, are we going to see a cool boop play? Not this turn. Do not let him cook. I'd watch a cooking stream. I've thought about doing other stuff. I can't cook down here. I'd have to figure out how to run the webcam up to the kitchen, and like, it's just not happening. I'm not moving my PC into the kitchen or something. We once again see ye old sheeping gas. I don't know about that one. That seems like a mistake. Get it? We have steak. We got mutton chops. My wife is laughing at me because she doesn't want to laugh, but she's laughing because she thinks it's funny. She knows it's funny. Boom! Get wrecked! Get bodied! The bullfrog! The Gravedigger! The carnage. That was actually kind of cool. That was actually pretty cool. Well played, blue player. We are going to get a retaliation fart bomb. What? The sheep farted. That's what its attack is. What are you laughing at? Look, the sheep just has a little indigestion. Had some grass that didn't agree with it or something. Chat, I love seeing Rambo. Ooh. Apparently, Bat is back on the menu. It's simple, chat. We simply kill the Bat. But, unfortunately, frog legs are also on the menu. Down goes Rambolina. I keep thinking, like, I always thought Rambolina kind of looked like a frog, but it's not. Chat, it's getting violent in the center of the map. There's still, like, a gazillion keys left because nobody wants to put anything on the board. I don't know what's happening. A singular Leshy would be wonderful right now. Would it, though? Would it, though? I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one. I also don't know about this Zappy. Methinks that's a this is all I got kind of thing. 3 to 3 panic points, 9 keys remaining to 5. Is Zappy going to establish the lockdown here? I'm not sure about it. Little Clinico action. It's a healing salve. Chat being weird, because chat does chat things. That's probably true, Goro. That's probably true. All the keys spent from our blue player mounting their offensive. Is this going to be enough? Possibly. It's possible. The problem is you don't really have a great way to engage because you can't quickly take this stim, whereas your opponent can. And if they take this stim, they can do it with a Klepto. It's not going to feel good if you get hit with a stim Klepto, I can tell you that much. Of course, the Hevo's already in position. We have additional lobs, and of course, the Snowball / Temptress can swing around. I do appreciate the repositioning here. Makes sense. At least the Zappy. All right, I was going to say, if the Zappy's there, at least it's dealing retaliation damage. But instead, we're playing it a little more defensively. Between the Temptress and everything else, it is possible the Zappy went down. Remember, we're playing this all at level 1. Little Electric Cat is the final phobie for our orange player. They are pushing this 4 to 2 panic point advantage for now, but that's going to change momentarily. Unfortunately for our blue player, though, Droney has managed to cling to life since the beginning of this game. This is a dead... Down goes the good boy. And that might be the end of our blue good boy here. Because, yeah, you're going to be in range with 5 hits here, 7 with this. But this doesn't exist, basically, in this game. And your opponent has control of the stem. Despite Temptress being among the worst phobies in the game, it is, in fact, tanky enough. Cause some problems here. Requires 3 hits, which means those are 3 hits that we're not going towards something much more relevant, aka this Hevo. You get a cool challenge play here in order to keep beating up the Hevo, but with no more keys to supplement, we'll have to see how this goes. The Klepto is in position. But suddenly they're, like, Orange players' forces aren't super intimidating. Very healthy trifecta here, but they're all very slow. Is there going to be a heart rush in our future? Temptress and tanky? Well, that's why we had the not a technicality, but the clarification that, in fact, it is not. But we are going to get the heart push here. This is how many people saw their Phobos games end. I don't really agree with this positioning, but to be honest, I don't know. What? You can't race this. This might be our blue player throwing in the towel. Panic point advantage once again going orange. In fact, a significant panic point advantage, as well as everything on the heart. And you can see down at the bottom, not a whole lot of time left on that clock. Very well played by both players. I appreciated the cool plays. The Rambolina looked pretty cool. The Sheep counterattack. I think a little bit of different positioning would have helped. And of course, as mentioned, I think the Zappy and a couple of other choices seem to just simply be collection restraints for our blue player, which, that happens. Sometimes the collection do get you. Down goes the heart. Down goes the World Gorger Nordic Dog. I don't know if that's lore accurate, but GG. Here we are, third and final round of Monster of the Week. Master Dark, and who could have guessed it? A Markin. Can't go by a week without watching an A Markin game. Always good to learn from. Let's see what the players have in store here. Starting off with a little bit of turret action from A Markin, banking 1 key notably, so we'll see what that 6 key cost comes down as, or is converted into. Master Dark mirroring the play somewhat. And a little Venus action, seeming to be one of Master Dark's signatures on this map. I'm not a huge fan of it, but we'll see how it works out here. Remember Venus on this map? It's Golden and Opticon. I'm not a huge fan, honestly. I think it's too slow. But it is a 2-range trapper. It is a 2-range trapper, which can make a significant difference. I like Crushmore on this map. Crushmore is awesome. It's definitely very good here for pretty obvious reasons. It did tremendous. Remember the goon? I'll be honest, it had nothing to do with that. Like, that wasn't... We'll talk about that later, I guess. All right, so we get a free Klepto hit. Probably not going to hang out. We get the 3 Rangers here. This is fairly standard. For anybody who's not aware, you can't shoot through the obstacles, but it can wrap around in a somewhat confusing way. If it's the first time you're seeing it, definitely makes sense. We get the finish here. I don't really like this either. Seems, like, unwarranted. Wasn't this just a cowbell? I guess. I mean, the snowball's fine, so it continues to exist. Yeah, I guess this is fine. Because you're just removing the asset from the board, because otherwise then a Markin has 2-1 keys to 1, and that causes problems. Evo 2.0 seems all right. Another lobber, obviously very strong on this map. The displacement is going to come into play, especially when it comes to setting up pushes, setting up positioning, taking this down accidentally. And here's the big brother. Evo 3.0, even more dangerous on this map. Notably, we haven't gotten Crushmores or anything to allow for terraform in order to extend the range. But there are some fragile phobies. Damage early on the snowball, of course, the innocuous, cassowary, not super tanky, damage on stabby. A lot of this fire damage will rack up over time. We do finally get a displacement tool on our blue player's side, but it's a pull. Obviously better than the push here, at least as far as displacement goes. The lob is a big difference maker, however. And of course, that necessitates Master Dark repositioning. 16 keys remaining to 12. And a Master Dark Classic, we're going to see a pull showing up on their side. It's a Smother Mother. Octonauty means that A Markin once again takes the lead on pulls. Let's see here. This is... Okay, so there's likely a trap here. I wasn't really paying attention to the Venus positioning. But this is a good set of picks. You get their Innoculus, you get their Cassowary. It's possible you end up losing the spider here, but you're also killing the stabby in the north. So this is a pretty crippling turn, and I do like the aggression from the stabby here. Okay, now this is weird. That was kind of cool, but like, why is there a dial here? Actually, this is interesting. What is the tentacle in the ground thingy? That is Smother Mother. It's the 9 key that you don't often see. I mean, Chuck is kind of falling off now as well, but Smother Mother's pretty good. Smother Mother's pretty good. It does an enormous amount of damage. Remember, this is at level 1, so while the 800 may not seem super high, I mean, it is, but like, if you're not impressed, it's because it's at level 1. Now, the dial is interesting because what probably gets set up here is this comes in or this comes in, you dial it, and then it can't escape. We get the push. And then the fireball off the stem. This could be a dead Hevo. This has got to be a dead Hevo. It definitely is, because if it was required, like, something else would have come out. That thing does big damage. Yeah, Smother Mother hits like a truck. Ooh, the Klepto doesn't go down. So we do take down the Hevo in the south. Definitely worth it. Does the Hevo 2.0 pay for its sins? Probably not. And there's no real way to protect these down here. It's going to require a retreat. Ooh, just choosing to tank this. Oh, no. Okay, we do get to walk away. Good movement by A. Markin. Very good movement there. Do we get the Klepto heal? Dial is going to make Hevo 2.0 choose between running away and attacking, and at this point, I think it just attacks. It's not getting away. There is potentially a defensive position that Master Dark could set up here to try and keep it alive. Walk away and then body block or something, but it's just not worth it. So despite the heal, the Klepto goes down. Which makes sense here that... Whoop, I didn't mean to do that. Sorry. Spoiler alert. What I was trying to click on down here was these. And the issue here is that they are kind of split away from the rest of the team. So you do run the risk here of Smother Mother just going ham. Dial with the takedown on Hevo. Yeah. This one seems to pretty much be in the bag. Down goes that Smother Mother. Gonna soften up the other Phobies, but very well played. Very well played. It's good to see the Octonauty come out. It's not something you typically see. Notably, we didn't get like, oh, surprise, it's an Akira. Instead, it was Octonauty Spider. Getting the pull here just to open up the Innocuous onto it. Of course, the Stabby can shell the Gin Sting here. And it's just a matter of chasing down the remaining Phobies. Ooh, that was a surprising trap. That was a surprising trap, but too much HP, too much stuff. Down goes Gin Sting, down goes Master Dark. GG. So that is the entire event. Of course, there were a whole bunch of other games played, but we're just taking a peek at what's going on. Mention it one more time if you want to play a Monster of the Week. Try your chances having everything level 1 in a weekly Phobies tournament. Hit up the Random Slots Discord. Link in the description. Oh, who won? A Markin. Could have maybe that one. A Markin, one of the best players in the game. Of course, proving it once again. But shout out to A Markin. Shout out to all the players that had played. It was definitely a lot of fun observing these games. And I'd recommend people to check out a few of them because there's a lot to learn. That's going to do it for this time. So as always, everybody, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Tune in next time for more thoughts. All right, chat.